Regular council meeting. Roll call, please.
Alderman Florian.
Present.
Alderman Taylor.
Present.
Alderman Bolton.
Present.
Alderman Seeger.
Present.
Alderman Moiseo.
Here.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Here.
Alderman Newsome.
Present.
Alderman Turner.
Here.
Alderman Rivera.
Present.
Mayor Cunningham.
Present.
All present.
To lead with invocation will be Pastor Dr. Ernest Taylor. Apostle Dr. Ernest Taylor from Word of Life Ministries. All rise. Dr. Taylor.
Amen. Most gracious Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, we come, and we come thanking you, Lord God, for another opportunity just to be in your presence. We come lifting up your people before you, Lord. Heavenly Father, we lift up the leadership of this country. And Father, we lift up those that are going to defend the right for us to operate in the peace that we have now. We ask that you look over their family, watch over their children, keep them out of hurt and harm's way. Now we lift up the city council before you, Lord. You say, if any man lack wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives it liberally and upbraideth not. We're asking for your wisdom right now to lead and to govern your people. And we thank you for that opportunity. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Staff Sergeant, could you lead us in the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mayor's comments. Protecting places of worship. This Friday, January the 10th, from 1 to 4:30 p.m., you are invited to join myself, along with Chief of Waukegan Police Department, Wayne Wallace, Deputy Chief Guzman, the United States, the U.S. Department of Justice, the Lake County State's Attorney's Office, Michael Nierheim, Sheriff John Einelberg, and community leaders for interfaith meeting on how to prevent and respond to hate crimes. This should be an informative event, and I hope and trust that everyone will attend.
Mayor, date and time again, please.
The date and time will be Friday, January the 10th, from 1 to 4:30 p.m. If anyone has any questions, Chief, Deputy Chief, we can probably field some of those questions, correct? If they have any questions about the event. Oh, I'm sorry, Chief, I didn't see you back there.
Here at City Hall.
Location?
Location will be Genesee Theater. Will be the Genesee Theater.
Thank you.
Recently, the Illinois State Police completed an investigation of an incident that happened in July 2019. Now that the state police concluded their investigation, I want to continue to let everyone know that obviously it is a sad situation for our community, and I extend my prayers to that family. Three Kings. Lastly, happy Three Kings Day to all those who celebrate it. Upcoming events. The public is invited to the Ray Bradbury Experience Museum Preview and Donation Award on Thursday, January the 9th at 4 p.m. at 13 North Genesee Street. This is the 100th birthday of Waukegan's very own author Ray Bradbury, and this event is just the start of the celebrations for his centennial year. The Hispanic American Construction Industry Association is offering a free 2-day OSHA certification workshop on Wednesday and Thursday, January the 15th and 16th at the College of Lake County Lakeshore campus. Registration is required. Sign up by contacting Ivan Ramirez at 312 312-575-0389. I'll repeat that, 312-575-0389. The Waukegan Township Annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s Dreamers Breakfast is Monday, January the 20th at Lakehurst Banquet Hall. Tickets and sponsorships are available through the Waukegan Township website. The Men of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated also will be hosting a Dr. Martin Luther King breakfast. That date, I do not have in front of me, but we'll get that out and have it on our website. Please check the Genesee Theater's website for details of the upcoming shows. Check the event calendar on the city's website for information on Art Walk on January 18th and all live music performances at Genesee Theater, Family Piano, Win-Win Restaurant, T&R's, Nightshade and Dark, Greentown Tavern, and thanks to Lake County Community Concerts, Trap Auditorium. At this time, I would ask that Staff Sergeant Jesus A. Ruiz please step up. Stay right there, sir. And you can turn around so they can see you in the cameras. Recently, the Chicago Bears took time to honor Waukegan-born Staff Sergeant Jesus A. Ruiz. He was honored for 13 years of service in the United States Marine Corps. This is the most special part about this. With 6 deployments to multiple continents, and now stationed at Naval Station Great Lakes and serving as an elementary school mentor and community role model to our youth. This day, we're going to present Staff Sergeant Ruiz with the Waukegan Proud Award. Everybody, 6 deployments, 6. If you don't mind, could you tell us exactly where you went, sir? Of those deployments, where did you go, sir?
Mayor, in those 6 deployments, I've been all over Afghanistan, Iraq, Philippines, Kuwait, you know, all over the Pacific, mostly after that, but all over many countries. So,
I think this is, that calls a standing ovation, if you don't mind, everybody.
thank you for the support.
Go to the middle. All of it, we all know, I don't even have to say anything else. I just like to say thank you for serving our country and making what we're doing right here today is a reason why we can do what you do and many of you before and after. God bless. I know you have your family.
Yeah, I got it.
White, little lady, big man. All right, we're going to take a group photo. You mind if we do it here? Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, here we go. We ready?
His head is black.
If you don't mind.
Can we get one
Can
with
we
the...
finish, family?
Yeah.
Come on up. Yeah, you want to be with Poppy, don't you? Yeah, I know. I can tell. Yeah, that's good stuff. Thank you. Anything you'd like to say, sir? Thank you.
Appreciate the support, keep supporting the military. Regardless of what we do, we're still serving you guys, we volunteer, and we're here to help even when we're back, we're here to help our communities and our cities, all right?
Thank you for saying it. You ever go shipboard? You ever board ship?
Yes, 3 times.
Which ship?
Essex, Macon Island, and Tortugas.
Outstanding. Thank you.
You know, oftentimes, it is these type of stories right here that's not often reported. But here is a young man who grew up in our community, went to the armed forces, specifically the Marines, and he's done some remarkable things for our country from Waukegan. You can't get prouder than that to tell this story. 6 deployments. So, man, this is something we can talk about, that people can do whatever they want to do when they put their mind, dedicate, put faith first. It's possible. It's difficult, but it's possible. So we thank you, but more importantly, that family of yours, that wife with the kids, she was behind to make sure it happened. So congratulations. What an awesome picture for our community as an example. You guys take care. God bless. All right? All right. With that being said, motion by Alderman Taylor, second by Alderman Seeger, to approve resolution supporting the passage and implementation of Clean Energy Jobs Act, known as CEJA, by the state of Illinois. Are there any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seeger.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
No.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, if you don't mind reading the resolution.
A resolution supporting the Clean Energy Jobs Act. Whereas the effects of climate change caused by increased concentrations of greenhouse gases threaten public health, natural resources, the economy, and disproportionately burden communities of color. And whereas in 2016, Illinois took efforts in being a leader in combating climate change by passing the Future Energy Jobs Act, which created an infrastructure promoting an equitable, clean, and renewable energy future. And whereas FEJA supported clean energy job creation and job training programs, attracted clean energy, energy efficiency, and energy innovation investments in the state, and preserved low energy rates for consumers. And whereas Illinois should continue to expand on the state's leadership on climate action through equitable climate and energy policy, which in part recognizes the need to commit resources to low-income communities to save money and help them benefit from clean energy. And whereas in the spring of 2019, the Clean Energy Jobs Act, Senate Bill 2132, House Bill 3624, was proposed to the Illinois General Assembly with aims to achieve a carbon-free power sector by 2030, bring Illinois to 100% renewable energy by 2050, with a plan for a just transition by responsibly phasing out coal and supporting those affected by the decline of coal, reduced gas, and diesel vehicles from the transportation sector, and promote economic opportunity and jobs. And whereas CEJA is anticipated to save the state millions from gas energy efficiency, generate billions in net benefits, and create billions in new investments. And whereas CEJA will foster healthier communities by improving air and water quality, and will promote a just transition and equitable future by focusing on and expanding opportunities for clean energy jobs, as well as building wealth in minority, low-income communities experiencing disproportional environmental harms and risk, commonly known as environmental justice communities. And whereas the City of Waukegan, an environmental justice community, aims to improve the lives of its residents as well as to revitalize and preserve its unique natural resources, which long have been strained by industrial activities. And whereas the City of Waukegan recognizes the need for climate action in improving lives and preserving natural resources, and as a result has exhibited its commitment by, among other things, the city's support of the Paris Agreement in July 2017, resolution number 2017 R49, the city's endorsement of the Greenest Region Compact 2 in February 2018, and the city's Soul Smart Goal Design in February 2019. And whereas the City of Waukegan and its residents would benefit from the additional resources allocated by CEJA, which would support, accelerate, and expand the city's ability to create and execute a plan in reducing greenhouse gas emissions, as well as increase clean energy jobs and training in the region. And whereas strong climate and clean energy policies like CEJA are integral at every level of the government in addressing and mitigating the effects of climate change. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Waukegan, Lake County, Illinois, that the City of Waukegan supports a passage in implementation of the Clean Energy Jobs Act, Senate Bill 2132, House Bill 3624, and does hereby call upon the General Assembly to pass and the Governor of Illinois to support and sign the Clean Energy Jobs Act. Be it further resolved that Mayor Cunningham and City Clerk Kilkelly are hereby directed to supply suitable copies of this resolution to the Governor of the State of Illinois, the Illinois Senate President, and the Speaker of the Illinois House of Representatives.
And that will be the resolution that will be sent down. In the House today, I think this is a special guest, State Representative Mayfield. This is what we'll be sending down. Thank you for any support you can give, ma'am. Thank you very much. All right. Yeah. All right. Item 3. That's it. Item 3 will be audience time.
Okay, you have 3 minutes. I'm going to call the first 5 names. Please go ahead and line up on the east side of the room and make sure you state your name at the time. Brother Blanks, Anita Johnson, Diana Burdette, Dr. Burdette, and Joshua Van Dyke. Brother Blanks, Anita Johnson, Diana Burdette, Dr. Burdette, Joshua Van Dyke.
For the sake of time, all of these are so they don't have to get up. We're going to be quick here today. Come on around. What we have here today, this is Black Abolition Movement for the Mind and the friends and the family members of Avion Cotton. And we're here today to charge the city. We charge the city with willful neglect and disrespect. When we had the Cotton family here to speak, time was delayed, was denied. You paid your corporate counsel taxpayers' dollars to fight the community. You, the government, you fought your own community with their tax dollars after raising tax dollars on something that the Attorney General said we are rightfully entitled to. Accountability and transparency is what body cameras offer. There was no reason you had to fight that. But at that time, you neglected to address a grieving family and grandmother who stood here before you and said all they wanted to do was just have some closure for their family. They had to fight. They had to plead. You wanted to use your corporate counsel to coerce from them a letter saying that in order for you to see this footage, that you need to sign a non-disclosure agreement. That was conveyed to me by the grandmother. But the bottom line, the fact that you would spend the taxpayers' money to delay and deny an appeal on something that you know you wasn't going to win because the state had already said. You got in bed with the state's attorney's office. Your job is to protect your citizens from all enemies, foreign and domestic. That means state's attorney too. If he violates the rights of the city, you defend your citizens. You tell him no. They need to see these tapes. We're going to let them see them. We shouldn't have had to fight a fight to go down there, and then you neglected young Avion Cotton. Y'all give the Cotton family a round of applause, please. You shouldn't have had to fight him. The rest of these people are going to speak. I will be addressing this more and more because you neglected young Avion Cotton. Too often we've been taught to see what did the police do wrong to cause his death. No, we need to take a look at what they did not do to preserve his life.
Amen.
Proper training, diversity, and transparency is what we need on Martin Luther King Drive. This young man, we watched him die on Martin Luther King Drive, and not a black officer, nobody that looked like the young man or Dr. Martin Luther King while this young man died on that street. That is unacceptable. We got other people going to speak. Trust me, I'll be back. Next up. Okay, come on up. You can call the next name.
Anita Johnson?
No justice.
No peace.
State your name.
Anita. We was here last time about my little cousin Avion. When we had the meeting with Wayne's Walls, his only concern was that I said he was boasting. Well, he was boasting. And he said in the meeting that we wasn't going to like the video. Well, we don't like the video because it was nothing but a bunch of lies. We watched my little cousin die. Now, they said it was a raid. The raid, anyone know that anytime Waukegan issues a search warrant to raid for drugs, they're going to proceed to search. Well, they didn't go raid. When you see the video, it shows that they went directly at Avion. But they supposed to have been at this house raiding, but they went at Avion. They supposed to went at this house raiding. This is what it says. Wayne Wall said on the news. It's all on the news. I can pull it up on my phone. It's everywhere. He said they went to raid. They never proceeded to raid, but when you see them jumping out their cars running at Avion. But the house right here, Avion running across the street. So was they going to raid or was they just going at Avion? Because Avion's dead and the house never got raided. Go ahead. So where is the truth? It's a bunch of lies. If I'm the chief and my Indians, I'm going to say they innocent, then I'm going to show the video right then and there. I'm not going to wait 6 months later. Because it's a bunch of lies. We can alter videos, but evidence show that they went to Avion. Innocent, no matter what he was doing, y'all said y'all was going there. Y'all went to Avion. He's dead because they went to Avion. He's dead because the lie that they went to Avion. So where's the justice at for us? Cunningham. They went to Avion. The video shows they went to Avion, but the warrant says they was going to raid. Why is Avion dead if they was going to raid? Why is he dead? We had no funeral for my little cousin, but they was going to do a search warrant for drug narcotics, but Avion is dead. He didn't live at that house. And then they said they was going to pick him up. He had an active warrant for driving with no license. You know how many people probably sitting here today driving with no license? They got a warrant that they're not looking for? That was a lie. All we got was lies. Then on the video it said they was doing CPR. No, they was punching him in his chest. And then they administered Narcan. He's not a drug user. We never seen what did he swallow. How could you give an asthma patient Narcan when I already can't breathe? I can't breathe. You can't give me Narcan. I'm hollering. I'm saying I can't breathe. But you administer Narcan? Why? Because John Oliver already knew what he had when he seen Avion. He already knew he's going to run. He's going to try to swallow drugs.
Anita. Thank you.
This is him.
No justice.
Thank you.
No justice, no peace. This is the truth.
Diana Burdett? Diana Burdett?
Pamela Johnson.
Diana Burdett?
Injustice intersects social, economic, environmental. It all lands on the same doorstep of communities. Not enough has been changing. At a federal level, it's changed for the worse, and it's seeping into our state and municipal level legislation and ordinances. It's time that states and municipalities start taking stricter actions to defend the safety of their community. Through education, through reformation. But everybody here is here to demand that change today. And they're not going to leave because too much has been the same for too long.
Too long.
It's time for change, and it's time to unite the communities, and demand change and reformation. Thank you.
All power.
Dr. Burdette? Dr. Burdette?
Dr. Dylan Burdette. I'm not going to speak on Avion tonight. I'm actually here tonight to speak on behalf of Clean Power Lake County. And I wanted to thank the Waukegan City Council, the aldermen and women, and the mayor's office for their passing of the resolution supporting CEJA. Many of my colleagues could not be here tonight as they were at a stakeholder meeting regarding coal ash that took place in Springfield today. But as mentioned in the resolution, CEJA will save the state's residents millions and improve the air and water quality for countless in environmental justice communities such as our own. It increases skilled employment opportunities, job training, and encourages billions of private investment in Illinois. It encourages business incubators, infrastructure improvements, improvements in transportation, and the elimination of transit deserts. It also helps communities such as ours build wealth and makes Illinois a leader in the response to the global climate crisis. All 102 counties in Illinois were declared agricultural disaster areas due to extreme weather events in 2019. The adoption of this resolution sends a powerful message to legislators at the state level and all the way to the governor's office that we in environmental justice communities matter and that we will not wait and we cannot afford to wait in order to make the changes needed to ensure that our communities not only survive, but thrive. Hopefully, the voices of our community are heard, and SB 2132 and HB 3624 are passed without further delay. Thank you.
Thank you. Joshua Van Dyke?
Van Dyke?
Let me get this timer. Might have to go to the egg. It's got to be at 40-degree angle. I'm getting out the egg timer. Go ahead.
Josh Van Dyke, everything I was going to say has already been said in better words before about what happened with Avian Cotton and the body cam footage. So I just wanted to add that the whole series of events just shows a stunning lack of respect, I think, and basic sympathy for the people of this community. It's just the different, there was clear cause for concern about what had happened and a good, valid reason to want to see the body counts. And there's no good reason to cause those delays and try to fight it, really, when it gets down to it. And so far, I'm not aware of any kind of real apology or even attempt at a sincere show of condolence or empathy for the family. And I just want to say it's all pretty shocking. And that's all.
Thank you. The next 5 speakers are Craig Smith, Mary Alice Smith, Chris Davis, David T., and Rita Mayfield. Craig Smith, Mary Alice Smith, Chris Davis, David T., and Rita Mayfield.
Craig Smith, homeowner on Ash. No, it was actually a mistake. I signed up, but just for that Avion situation, 911 should have been called sooner. Anytime that happens, you'd automatically call 911 if someone's saying they can't breathe or, their chest is hurting regardless of the circumstances. If either one of you said I couldn't breathe right now, we'd have to dial 911 as a standard emergency protocol. It's standard. But I mean, I'd actually signed up by mistake, and I came to also about my, the taxes going up. That's how, the homeowner's taxes. But that, 911 should have been called.
Thank you.
And I want to speak on behalf,
No, Mary Alice? Okay.
yeah, and I want to speak on behalf of the family.
I'm sorry, your name?
Pamela,
Pamela, you'll have to, I've got a list here. I'm going to go right to, Mary Alice is not speaking. Chris Davis.
can she speak instead of her?
She can come here and she can sign up, sir.
Okay, it's fine.
But Chris Davis is next.
Chris Davis. I'm here on behalf of Avion Cotton as well. I'm only going to speak here today on my own experiences. I believe that what happened to Avion is because it's an ongoing practice of the Waukegan Police Department, because it's overlooking by the people that's standing before us and sitting before us today. The people who's supposed to govern these officers are allowing them to do what they've been doing. It starts in Lake County Jail with my own experiences, where I was tortured by Lake County Jail officials, officers, under the authority of Mark Curran. Michael Neerheim, who was the state's attorney, was aware of that. I have civil lawsuits pending. My name is Chris Davis. Christopher Davis in full versus Officer LaKenza, Officer Raim Aberjaba, Officer Gotsis. In the federal court, instead of disciplinary action being taken against these officers, settlements were offered to me, but these officers are still working in Lake County Jail. I was offered hush money to allow these officers to still work and be employed and look over other inmates that's in Lake County Jail. These are inmates who are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Here I am today standing before Sam Cunningham, who's very familiar with my face. These officers are still there. More so to mention, in Lake County Jail and in Waukegan, Illinois, where we have to be feared by our own officers. The question is, this is 2020. Who polices the police? Why do I have to be scared to ride on the south side when somebody called me for a ride? Because I'm gonna be harassed by Waukegan police. I have video footages in my phone right now to this day when I was on 10th and Lincoln and harassed and pulled out my car because I was on 10th and Lincoln, being told that I was probably committing a crime. No suspicious activity, no hand-to-hand transactions. I was pulled out my car. Why is that? As if I don't have rights. Here I am again, standing here today, asking why. This is 2020. When is it gonna stop? Sam Cook, is change gonna come? Is it ever gonna come? Because it's been a long time coming, definitely. And I'm speaking from my own experiences. What happened to me in Lake County Jail is not he say, she say. I have audio and video footages. But instead of action being taken against these officers, they still working in this county jail to this day, and that's ridiculous. That's turning blind eyes and deaf ears upon what you know what took place. Just like what happened to Avion, is blind eyes and deaf ears being taken. Why is that? Why is that? That's the question. Why? Why is that? Nobody has no answers here for us today, but y'all just look at me like I'm crazy. Y'all might have your own opinions, but who gonna stand up and do what's right? Somebody got to take action. Because if my daughter was in this room and she did something wrong, I'm gonna take action, whether she's my daughter or not. So our question is why? And when is change gonna come? It's 2020. It gotta start somewhere. It gotta start somewhere. I'm not just talking. Google my name, read it. Federal court public record. Y'all know it's available. Federal courtroom. It's there. 219 South Dearborn. It's there. It's available. So my question is, why is these officers still working there? Why was I pulled out my car on 10th and Lincoln for no reason? And I got the video footage on my phone.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
It's
Thank
available.
you. David T. David T. David T.
No justice.
No peace.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es David Toledo. Hello, my name is David Toledo, and I am here to thank you for passing the Clean Energy Act. I studied sustainability, sustainable community development, sociology, and social justice. It's funny the places that God places you. Studying sustainability and seeing what's happening in this room right now, I'm happy to see sustainability move forward, social justice be present, and community be here together. Thank you for your service, because that also takes a lot. I'm excited to see where the future will go. I am from Waukegan. I grew up in Lake County. And anytime I drive by, I make sure to thank the Forest Preserve for always keeping our forest preserves healthy and moving towards that. I'm happy to always drive by and see new businesses here in Waukegan. And I am always happy to drive through the streets that I drove growing up. My family still lives here. Anything that I do in my life, I always make sure that my community will continue to improve. And I start by doing that with myself. Studying inequality and being here in 2020, we understand that there is a huge system that we have to dismantle and reconstruct. We are practicing that here today. We are moving forward to create a better tomorrow for our youth, for our elders, for ourselves, for anyone who is living in anything that is living. Like I said, I studied sustainable community development, sociology, and social justice, and I'm happy to be a part of this community and be a part of this room right now, having conversations about social equity, environmental justice, and community. So thank you for your work. Always make sure to put the people forward, and individuals in the community, always make sure to practice your power, because that's exactly how we're going to continue to move forward as individuals, as communities, as cities, towns, and as a country and as a global community. So thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Rita Mayfield.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Brother Blanks, for bringing the Avion cotton matter to my attention, because I was not aware of everything that was going on, and I look forward to having more conversations with you to see how I can be helpful. I did come here tonight to talk about the Clean Energy Jobs Act. In 2016, I co-sponsored the Future Energy Jobs Act to promote renewable energy and create wind and solar jobs for low-income and environmental justice communities like Waukegan. The bill was the first step toward reducing our carbon footprint. I'm a current sponsor of the proposed Clean Energy Job Act, which will create 4 times as much wind and solar as FEJA. That's equivalent to 40 million solar panels, 2,500 wind turbines. It will aid local governments in developing clean energy plans, boost energy efficiency, and take advantage of the falling cost of wind and solar power. It is the only energy legislation in Springfield that will actually secure savings for consumers while significantly wrapping up energy development in the state. The bill calls for the creation of a $25 million Clean Jobs Workforce Hub to train and provide direct assistance to communities of color and underserved communities in accessing renewable energy-related jobs. Most importantly for Waukegan, the bill calls for a just transition to help community and workers where coal plants may close to access tax incentives and other state resources to ensure that the site is cleaned up and left in a renewable state. That is key important. We do not want a mess on our hands like they have in Zion. We want to make sure that land is reusable. We cannot let this legislation be held hostage while ComEd continues to work out their legal problems. It is imperative that those that have not done so, that you sign on as a co-sponsor to the bill. I'm asking that the city sign on as a proponent to the Clean Energy Job Act as well. Clean air, clean water, and reusable land is a right, and we need to make sure that our children and our grandchildren have access to that right. Thank you to the City Council for your leadership and support of the Clean Energy Jobs Act. I will proudly support your resolution in Springfield. Thank you.
Okay, the next 5 names: Joe Moody, Charles Pitts, Ashley Rosa, Clyde McLemore, and Jack Dye. Joe Moody, Charles Pitts, Ashley Rosa, Clyde McLemore, and Jack Dye.
My name is Joseph Moody. I know Avion. I know the family. I worked at the Boys and Girls Club down there on Genesee, and I knew him when he used to come through there. The brother here, 6 tours. And he comes back home, and men, young black men, are being killed in the streets. The war, he goes to fight over there, and he comes back home, and there's another war. I'm a veteran, 20-year veteran. 20 years I floated on that water. Come back home, they still killing young men. No checks and balances. Like he said, he joined the Marines. There's an esprit de corps, or order of discipline, way things are ran. There's checks and balances. Something's wrong with the checks and balances here in America. It doesn't make sense that we're still fighting the same fight that my grandparents fought, your grandparents fought, and they're still fighting the same battle. Racism, is it going to ever go away here in America? Are we going to sit and look at people as people? There's only one race until people come to that realization. The human race. Black and white. Those are constructs made to keep people oppressed or to try to oppress others. But until we wake up as human beings and say, hey, man, you know, I don't have time for that BS. I'm going to look at you as a man. I'm going to look at you as a woman. I'm not going to look at you as black and white. Because in the war or in the service, I ain't got time for that. Because you got to have my 6. I got to look at you. I ain't got to worry about you saying, well, I'm from Alabama. I don't deal with this and that. No. I'm from Waukegan. We don't hang with that. Or I'm from the south side of this or east side of that. We all a family. And when you get in those trenches, you ain't got time, you ain't thinking about, can I depend on you? No, because if I don't come home, you're not going to come home. And here in America, we need to wake up. Like I said, I'm 65 years old. And I'm still sitting there watching the same fight that my father had to deal with, my brother had to deal with, my grandfather, and so forth and so on. And like I said, America, we need to wake up. And Waukegan, you right here, you need to wake up too.
Thank you. Mr. Charles Pitts.
Well, you know me, you know me. So I guess my situation is it safe to live and be in Waukegan? As a black male, statistics are going to say in many levels they're not, because one, the economics. Illinois has extremely high unemployment of Afro-American males. So when you're out of office, Mayor Cunningham, will you be able to have a job? The statistics are probably going to be not in your favor. I'm just, right now, I'm looking, when do you see outside of yourselves to get the information to build this city? And I just see so many businesses have closed since I was here last. You know, businesses that are pretty much core to your infrastructure. Thrift stores, bicycle repair shops, restaurants. I mean, downtown Waukegan is still a food desert. When do we see something that says that you're really taking an active interest in building Waukegan? I mean, I feel like all I see right now is failure.
As long as that county building
Avion Cotton, these issues I tried to warn you about like 4 or 5 years ago when I started coming back here. You know, you have the system where the police don't interact with the community. Like, they don't have police community meetings. They don't go out into the community. You're violating the best practices situations. You know, when that guy died, you should have come forward with video, you know, who the officers are, took questions from the community, but instead you hide behind the attorneys, you hide behind bureaucraticness, and it just shows that we cannot trust government. What you're saying with you hiding these type of information and not being clear and forthright, basically you're saying you are the enemy of the citizens. So you know, this guy gets attacked in jail, he gets harassed, you know, in public. It seems like you have no type of infrastructure to handle these types of abuses. I mean, when do we get some answers? When do you stand accountable? I mean, should I move here? I'm in California. Should I come live here? Should I?
Thank you, Mr. Pitts. Thank you. Ashley Rosa? Ashley Rosa?
Who police the police? That's the question. You can't give a human. It's y'all are going to do it. Unless you change
We'll get answers when they get out there.
Okay, Ashley Rosa, thank you.
Good evening. My name's Ashley Rosa, and I'm the pastoral intern at St. Paul's Lutheran Church. But tonight I am speaking on behalf of the organization Faith in Place. Since 2013, Faith in Place and Clean Power Lake County have been advocating for a just transition for the coal-fired power plant owned by NRG Energy, and have implored the city of Waukegan to enact legislation to protect our residents. This evening's passage of the CEJA resolution is a positive step in that direction. Mr. Mayor and council members, I wish to thank each of you for your commitment to the residents of this community, who rely on you to lead this community into a healthy, environmentally just future. The people of St. Paul's have been working alongside Faith in Place to care for our community and for creation. And back in October, our church council voted to support Faith in Place in their work with CEJA, understanding that the work of faith communities is grounded in centering the voices of those disproportionately affected by climate change. Faith in Place knows that communities of faith understand the importance of equity and the need to listen to the voices of those on the margins. As a result of our faith, we cannot disregard the voices of the marginalized, promote simple solutions to complex problems, or seek immediate personal benefit. We understand, rather, that this work cannot be about any personal, immediate need to feel good, because it's about the care and well-being of all of God's creation. Through support of Faith in Place, communities of faith support and advocate for the passage of the Clean Energy Jobs Act. This legislation will ensure that environmental justice in communities like Waukegan are prioritized. The coal plant on our lakefront will be retired, and we must be ready for a just transition. CEJA provides an outline for that process. Faith in Place looks forward to continuing to work together with the council and administration to achieve our shared vision of a beautiful lakefront free from the toxic legacy that has stymied economic growth in our community. Let us work together to bring this vision into a reality by bringing clean, renewable energy to Waukegan. Thank you.
Thank you. Clyde McLemore.
Good evening, council members and mayor. Happy New Year's, and hope y'all have a prosperous New Year. I'm here tonight to invite each and every one of you tonight to a preparation. Y'all got me nervous, all this going on. Symposium on January 9th, 2020 at Falls Park District at 6 to 9. The symposium is hosted by Black Lives Matter Lake County chapter, as we partner with Incopra Chicago chapter, who's been fighting since 1980s for reparations. On January 3rd, 2017, Congressman John Connors of Michigan introduced the H.R. 40 bill with 32 sponsors. That number should have been much higher. However, a lone alderwoman from Evanston drafted the present bill to her city council and got it passed. Her name was Alderwoman Robin Rue Simmons. I called her the Rosa Parks of the reparation movement. It's the first city in the nation that ever passed such a bill. Alderwoman Simmons will be at this symposium to answer any questions you have. I do want to state that Alderman Simmons does have family here in Waukegan, in the Waukegan area. State Representative Will Davis from Chicago has drafted a bill for the Illinois State House. This bill will be introduced to the House around the end of this month, and it goes to committee in February. The Congressional apologized for enslavement and racial discrimination of people of African descent were enacted by the U.S. House of Representatives in 2006 and by this U.S. Senate in 2008. However, Jim Crow still continues today. There has been reparations made to other races, such in 1991, Japanese received $1.2 billion. In 2011, there was another settlement to the Indians. And Obama administration paid reparation to the Jewish Holocaust victims. My ancestors helped build this great state, United States, or should I say United Snakes. I could go on, but I ask all of you to bring your questions Thursday. Since this is an evening event, we will even serve you light appetizers to hold you over. I want to thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you, Mr. McLemore. Jack Dye.
Hello, I'm Jack Dye. I came here to talk about procedures, not as deep and heavy as the Avion Cotton situation, but our property tax levy conversation. We had a vote. Do you want me to pause? Okay. So what I wanted to talk about was we had a vote, and it passed 4-3 with an abstention by the 6th Ward Alderman. Now, I don't personally agree with the abstention, but that's neither here nor there. He abstained. And it was the opinion of the city of Waukegan that would become voting with the majority, which I don't believe the 6th Ward Alderman, in his own words, knew or even understood that to be the case. And I find that very hard as a resident. Now, once again, I'm not agreeing with his vote or his choice, but he has every right to have that. But I feel like hanging him out to dry and putting him with the A's, as well as the nays, is very difficult. And when I see that, I remember my time. I was on the Planning and Zoning Commission for 3 years, from 2015 to 2018. Now, when somebody had a conflict of interest, which was very common because there's architects and people of that stature who are voting on ordinances. And so when they had to abstain from a vote, they recuse himself. If it was Mr. Turner, Alderman Turner, he would recuse himself. He'd walk out in that lobby, and he'd say, "I recuse myself." And then when the voting was over, he'd come back in, and there'd be a vote. Jack Dye, votes, and so seconds it to seat him back again. Now that didn't happen, so there is no recusing here. His vote should count one way or another, by your rules, by your conversation. Now to follow that up, my question is when the 4th Ward Alderman, Alderman Kirkwood, abstains for alcohol licenses, alcohol votes, which he's required to by state law, and he does what he believes to be correct. He stays right there. He doesn't get out, recuse himself. So in my question to the city council and to corporate council, it's a fair question. You can shake your head if you don't like it. I don't care. Point is he doesn't recuse himself. Is that a vote an aye by default, which is what you said. If you vote abstain, that's with the majority. So if the motion of the liquor license passes, how in the world is that different than voting for my tax levy? So my question to the city of Waukegan, and I'm a layman. I'm just a dude. I live at 235 Gillette Avenue. You can swing by and say hi anytime. You can swing by. My question is how is it one thing to get what we want for taxes? It's another thing because this man has to recuse himself. And I don't believe Kirkwood has any ill will, and I don't think the city has any ill will. But we have to call it down the line. If we're going to call it one way and say, hey, he abstained, that goes with the majority. That's what we're interpreting our rules, the Roberts rules. That's okay. But then Kirkwood's in fault. If that's not the case, then Alderman Turner didn't vote, and therefore we have an issue with our tax levy. That's what I came here to say. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Thank you. The last 4 speakers are Margaret Carrasco, Dulce Ortiz, Brittany Milot, and Juan Morales. Margaret Carrasco, Dulce Ortiz, Brittany Mylott, and Juan Morales.
Okay, before I get started, I just want to really quick, as long as I got the Avion Cotton family here, may I recommend that you look into that officer? I didn't realize I recognized the name right off the bat. Taxpayers of Waukegan, you would be appalled to see his overtime. In addition to that, I challenge Chief Walls, I don't know if he's still here. I challenge Chief Walls, when are you going to drug test your officers? Let me begin. Okay. I'm here once again also about the emergency special meeting that they had on the day after New Year's Eve. I did file a complaint with the state. First one is the meeting was illegal. Next, in a memo that I cited from Tina from Finance, which she communicates the required steps for the whole process of the city tax levy, excuse me. She goes into about how what the county has to file with the county and the date line, and never does she state about any special voting requirements, nor does she state about any ratification or additional evidence required. No city document exists that communicates this to the alderman about any additional requirements. On December 2nd, nothing was said about it having to be ratified, or December 16th, nothing was said. However, on Christmas Eve, the city decides to post something on the door about a meeting on the day after Christmas at 3 o'clock. So that goes into my second complaint to the state about your failure, the city, to post within 48 hours public notice. Next, number 3, the special meeting was not a bona fide emergency, as you are trying to insinuate. An emergency meeting is an unforeseen combination of circumstance and results that the state you call immediate emergency. You were aware, or have been aware, of many taxpayers coming here complaining about these issues. Next. On December 23rd, the Lake County judge confirmed in court to legal counsel that the whole tax levy Waukegan matter was not an emergency once again. So they're just trying, it's just a dog and pony show they're trying to do here, just trying to pretend that it was legal, but it's not. Legal counsel Bob Long, you should have raised a point of order and communicated who could vote, who could not, and legality. Complaint number 4, Mayor Cunningham illegally voted that day.
Thank you, Ms. Margaret. Thank you. Dulce Ortiz. Darn it.
Good evening, everyone. Before I start, regardless of the situation, I want to extend my sincere condolences to the Cotton family. Again, regardless of the situation, a mother lost their child, and we need to keep perspective of that. And as a mother, I can't imagine losing my own child, so my sincerest thoughts and prayers to you. My name is Dulce Ortiz. I'm the co-chair of Clean Power Lake County. Our mission is to organize within frontline environmental justice communities to shift Lake County to healthy, renewable energy and to achieve the self-determination of immigrant, low-income, and working-class families. CPLC has and will always continue to strive for a lakefront that showcases the reality of 100% clean, renewable energy that is free from the toxins of its industrial past. It is critical for the city that we not lose the momentum of the adoption of the Clean Energy Jobs Act and expand communication with CPLC members and the community overall. We need to protect our community and leave a better legacy for our children. Therefore, our shared work must include a just transition for workers at the outdated coal burning generating station a commitment from Energy to remediate toxic waste from that site, and justice for the people of Waukegan who have been overburdened by industrial polluters for decades. CPLC has been working towards this goal, which is rooted in the desire for justice and self-determination for frontline communities, whose residents are economically stressed, working class, Black and brown sisters and brothers. Beyond this resolution, we need you to call Governor Pritzker for his administration to make the passage of CEJA a priority in this General Assembly. With or without the passage of CEJA, the coal plant on our lakefront will retire. For years, CPLC has forewarned now to administrations that the retirement of this coal plant is imminent. Just 4 months ago, Vistra Energy decided to shut down 4 coal plants in downstate Illinois. These were the comments from Kurt Morgan, Vistra's president and CEO. Even though today's retirement announcements were inevitable, I'm going to repeat, were inevitable, due to the changing regulatory environment and unfavorable economic conditions in the market, they are nonetheless difficult to make. It's critical that there be continued engagement in our community to develop a strong and just climate action plan that prioritizes a coal to clean energy transition plan and make this commitment a reality. By moving beyond coal and seizing the benefits of clean energy, we can bring new economic growth and jobs to Waukegan, improve the health and value of our lakefront, and rebrand Waukegan's image as a progressive leader in sustainability.
Thank you, Ms. Ortiz.
Thank you.
Brittany Mylott.
Hello, everybody. My name is Brittany. I want to speak on the police. As of 2012, I was going to law school as a police officer. What we practice and what we are learned, I do not see Waukegan using. The way y'all deal with situations, that's not how y'all were taught to deal with situations. If it was somebody overdosed in a vehicle, they would do the right thing to get that taken care of right away. The fact that whether he had something in his mouth or not, it was your job to get that out of his mouth. This is something that you guys are taught. Y'all look past what is going on, but the bigger picture is this person is still a human. Y'all let him die in y'all arms. If y'all watch the video, WaukeganIllinois.gov, everybody can view this video. He took his last breath with an officer holding him. That's not how y'all was taught. When EMT arrived, they asked, first question, why is he handcuffed? Can anybody give me an answer to that?
Answer it, Wayne.
EMT, part of y'all, has stepped up and want to know, why is he handcuffed?
If he stated he couldn't breathe, why is he still handcuffed?
That's not the way y'all was taught. As again, I went to law school. Once I seen how crooked the government is, it's not for me.
Stop hiring these weirdos.
Y'all don't protect and serve y'all country like y'all supposed to, especially Waukegan. And I'm gonna speak on Waukegan as if 2012 I was arrested for something that I did not do. I was beaten on by the police until they pulled my wallet out of my pocket and seen I was a female. Ain't nobody take action on it. I didn't make the paper. I didn't go on mobile patrol. Y'all embarrassed of what y'all did to me. Still to this day, nobody has said nothing about what happened.
What's it going on? John Oliver Chastain, he's standing up there, Chastain.
Y'all look at the color of people. I don't care what nobody color is in this room. Y'all are all people at the end of the day.
Yes.
At the end of the day, y'all are all people. No racist thing. It's just nowadays y'all use racial profile and that's not okay. Everybody in this room is a person. Regardless of what color your skin is, you're a person. Everybody have the right to get the same freedom, the same treatment.
Same respect.
I'm just not understanding. Now, if this was, not to be racist, if this was a white person that was on drugs and overdosed, you guys would have took action immediately. It wouldn't have took y'all 10 minutes to call no paramedics. Not 10 minutes. Y'all probably would have had that phone call before, as soon as y'all pulled up. Y'all understand the man telling y'all he can't breathe, but what did y'all do to help him breathe? Sit him up? That's not opening up his airway.
Thank you, Ms. Brittany. Thank you. Juan Morales. Thank you. Juan Morales.
All power to the people.
No justice? No peace.
Juan Morales, please step up and.
Hello, everybody. I also want to give my condolences to the family. I am here to help this gentleman out. He does not speak English and had addressed me in the audience. He has an issue, and I'm going to help him out.
Mi nombre es Juan Morales. Yo vengo aquí a solicitar.
His name is Juan Morales, and he is here tonight to make a solicitation to the council.
Que si por favor pueden poner una lámpara ahí en frente de la 1723 de la Lloyd Avenue.
He lives at 1723 Lloyd Avenue in Waukegan, Illinois. I'm not familiar whose ward that is. His home was broken into. He called the police. The police had told him to come here. La policía te dijo que vinieras para acá.
Sí.
He has the police officer's name. The police officer's name is
1720. The last name Garcia.
Garcia, and he would like to know who his alderman is. He also would like to request a light above on his street. There's no light. It's very dark. His home was broken into.
De que quiso entrar.
1722 Lloyd.
No pudo porque yo me levanté, estaba durmiendo. Me levanté y le toqué y le corté.
So his home was being robbed. He heard the noise and came out, and that's when whoever was trying to rob his home had fled, and so that is his concern. ¿Correcto?
Sí, es que vengo a solicitar que si por favor pueden poner una lámpara ahí porque está muy oscuro.
Okay, so yo voy a averiguar quién es su alderman y luego cuando los damos de aquí te conecto con él o ella y te pueden dar. So I have advised him, we're going to figure out who his alderman is and then speak with them and go forth through that. Thank you. Happy New Year.
He didn't. You know, but it's...
What's the address?
Give you a call.
1722 Lloyd.
The mayor will call you.
That's the third and the fourth.
He will call you.
All right, thank you.
I don't even know what Lloyd is.
No.
Give
East West Street.
you el teléfono to do them so I can get it, okay? Gracias. Muchas gracias.
Mayor, that concludes public time. Thank you.
People at a time to come here that spoke that was not of color, and you never had that many police at the door. That's racist. You had
The one that killed Avion, some of them the ones that was out there with Avion.
That's not right. You had that many police here because they're not people of color. Because you got people of color here. Think about what you said. The message you said here. Think about it.
All right. We're ready when you are,
Never
sir.
had that many police here. You
Okay.
had 70 50 people in here. This is all power to the people protest and you vote. It's not right.
First Amendment right.
Okay. All right. The audience time has ended. Item 4, consent agenda. There's a motion by Alderman Turner, second by Alderman Mozio.
Do the consent agenda.
No.
You can pull out what you want.
I want to pull number A out.
Let me get it on the floor. Motion for consent agenda, items 4A through L. Are there any questions to the motion?
I'd like to pull number,
Alderman Turner, then Alderman Taylor.
I'd like to take number A out, please.
Okay.
Letter A.
A.
D, I just want to amend it a little bit.
D, Alderman D. All right. Consent agenda. Items B, C, and then E through L will be on the consent agenda.
And F.
A consent agenda, items B, C, E, G through L. Any other questions to the motion? I will read them. Motion to approve regular meeting minutes from Monday, December 2nd, 2019. Item C, motion to approve the regular meeting minutes from Monday, December 16th, 2019. Item E, motion to approve regular payroll dated January 3rd, 2020, total amount of $1,579,957.01. Item G, motion to approve elected official civil service stipend dated January 3rd, 2020, in a total amount of $9,966.66. Item H, motion to approve PBLC holiday buyback dated January 3rd, 2020, a total amount of $5,837.36. Item I, motion to approve PD uniform allowance dated January 3rd, 2020, in a total amount of $125,565. Item J, motion to approve PD uniform allowance dated January the 3rd, 2020, a total amount of $109,531.35. Item K, motion to approve retro pay date stated on the agenda January 3rd, 2020, a total amount of $74.26. Item L, motion to approve all raffle sales applications. Any other questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Motion is passed and carried. Item A, motion 4A, motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Kirkwood, authorize proper city of Corporation Council to finalize and the mayor to sign an agreement with the Hispanic American Construction Industry Association, better known as HACIA, for rental in the office of 100 North Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue. Any questions to the motion? Alderman Alderman Turner, then Alderman Taylor.
Thank you. Yeah, so I object to this. Citizens of Waukegan, taxpayers of Waukegan purchased this building back in 2003. It's floated a bond. We paid taxes for it. The purpose of this building is for the operations and offices of the city of Waukegan. The city is not in the commercial office space rental business. We're not in the landlord business, right? So it's wrong on that level to offer office space for a fee, right? That's number one. Number two, I took a ride down, and also we're, in doing that, we are competing with the government, this government body is competing with the free market, the fair market, the real estate industry, right? So I took a ride down Genesee Street, County Street, and Washington Street, and I counted 17 office spaces where office space is available. 3 of those buildings have multiple offices, so I don't know what the total is. It's got to be over 25, I would estimate, right? And then on top of that, the looking at the proposed lease agreement, $10 a year. I mean, any one of those empty storefronts down on Genesee would love to have a renter or someone lease that space, but we're going to cut them out of an opportunity to engage someone to rent their property by offering a public property, a city-owned property, space in a city-owned property for $10 a year. What's the going rate on office space in Waukegan? I bet it ain't $10 a year, right? So I have a strenuous objection to that. And I would ask that I make a motion to deny, to not pass, not approve this.
It's the motion on the floor. Let's go. We have another Alderman Taylor.
Well, I have nothing, no objection to the organization itself, My concern is when we did this with Main Street and the Waukegan Chamber of Commerce is City Hall is supposed to be the place for city business. I find it amazing that we as aldermen don't even have office space here, that if I want to meet with a resident, I have to pick a public spot to meet them at and have a discussion that they want to have privately in a public place. Yet we have enough space to start, in a sense, giving away to outside interests. Again, I agree, we have a lot of places downtown that are better suited for this. One of my major concerns here is we don't have enough parking as it is. Not even for aldermen. I mean, most of the time when you come in the daytime, we have all kinds of law enforcement up and down this street and blocking alderman parking. And that's just aldermen. What about our residents who come to pay their water bill? And now you've got all these other not-for-profits in here. Our job is to do city business, not to provide for all of these not-for-profits. And again, how are we choosing what not-for-profits? This group is out of Chicago. They're not even Waukegan based. Let's take care of our own people before we step out and take others. So I can't in any way, shape, or form agree with this. So that's my opinion, so I will be a no vote on this.
Any other questions?
I have a question. Could we consider maybe tabling this until we get some clarification?
Sure. Sure.
Yeah,
mean,
I
no
like
problem.
that.
All right. It's fine.
That's fine.
Okay. But Alderman, I would answer the question, where do aldermen, the back room here has always been the space for aldermen.
Under a camera that people don't want to be under.
There's no camera back there, ma'am.
I believe there is one in the corner here.
There's no camera there. But it could be. I mean, I've never seen a camera there. So, well, when you come into City Hall, there's going to be a camera.
Yeah. But I mean, what I'm saying is I think that there should be, I mean, at one time we had these doors locked. I mean, it's awkward to set up a time to come. There should be a designated area. We don't have to have desks for all 9 aldermen. I'm not saying that. But there should be a room that people should be able to go to. And again, it doesn't, we are in the business of handling city business, not outside.
I agree. And, you know, I guess I would say with the Waukegan Chamber of Commerce and Main Street, those are integral part of what I believe, and I think most of us probably believe, is part of city operations. And having them inside where when a business comes into this community, they have those questions, be able to go up to the various departments to do that. That was the reason behind that. So
I just think that they're just as well off on Genesee Street where they are connecting with the businesses.
I think if we take a look at, let's take for example with.
I mean, we do have city buildings that we could.
Well, I think we're doing, you're absolutely right, we're doing that right
Yeah.
now because with Three Brothers Theaters, we're doing it as well.
Right.
Now, even though, you know, they're in there and, you know, Three Brothers, they provide what I consider to be a service.
They do.
And they provide room and occupancy within there, which we need. It's the same thing here. I know there was, at one point in time, we were thinking about totally rehabbing that, but as you know, the cost of that was a little bit more. So the use for that Three Brothers Theater is probably going to be the best use for right now until we get someone. And that was the thought behind that.
But I think we have other property that we could probably put some of them into that we own.
No, not. Why are we in the property rental business? That's not city business.
And again, Alderman, I think we have difference of opinion as to what is in the best interest to make sure Waukegan moves forward. And I would love to discuss that with you anytime, Alderman.
Yeah, I'd be happy to discuss it with you too, Mayor. I'll just point out that, you know, my residents in the 6th Ward never complain about renting office space. They complain about leaf pickup, potholes, crime, shots fired, all of the quality of life issues and that affect how we live. Nobody's interested in suggesting and promoting that we become a commercial office space.
And I agree with you.
So,
I certainly agree with you. I'd love to speak with you offline and
Absolutely.
just give our perspective on it.
Thank you.
But I do appreciate the fact that you
Is
come.
this going to be tabled?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and take it. Listen, this is all about getting it out here. We go from there. But this particular item A will be tabled. Items D.
Are we good, just for clarity, for the record, are we tabling this or holding it over?
Hold it over. Let's hold it over. It's a holdover right now, per Alderman Taylor. I'm sorry, per Alderman Bolton. This will be a holdover. All right. Item D.
This was just something I noticed. It said in the minutes about addressing the concerns of both Alderman Florian and myself, and I just happened to notice it. I guess what I would like to add to it is that the comment is vague, so I would like to point out that I was a no vote on this because I don't believe I was in the legal position to make that vote. I'm not an attorney, and that's not my role as an alderman.
Well, we have corporate counsel. There's a question that you had the corporate counsel can ask you?
No, it was just that's why my no vote, and it just said, all it said was the concerns were documented, and then it was much more specific on Alderman Mosio's reasons for for voting for it. So I didn't know if I needed to have that in there because that was, for the public, that was the reason that I didn't vote for the ratification, is that the way that it was done, it was asking us to make a legal opinion, in my opinion, and I'm not qualified to do that. So I don't know if you want that in the record or if I just wanted to make clarification.
I guess I'm a little confused. Corporate counsel is what it is. Is the corporate counsel. He is the counsel. So if corporate counsel is giving us permission to make a vote or not make a vote, then I guess I don't understand. You're not in a legal position. So is there a question that corporate counsel can ask?
Well, you're asking me to ratify something that it was done legally. Well, I'm not an attorney, so I don't know if it was done legally. Our corporate counsel that's who we go to. So I'm not really sure why we were being asked to ratify something that had already been voted on.
Well, maybe we can answer that question, then we can go from there. Corporate counsel.
Simply because we were making every effort possible to eliminate the extremely small risk of a very large disaster. That's what that was all about.
Yeah. All my concern was here is that the comments were not documented, and that's fine. We can vote on it, it's fine, but I just wanted to make it clear to the public why my opinion was.
No problem. I just wanted to make sure that you didn't have a hanging question out.
No,
That's
I
all.
don't.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Alderman Turner?
Yes, thank you. Just a comment here. One of the speakers at audience time referred to this, this particular meeting that we're discussing. She referred to it as an emergency meeting. I just want to go on the record. It was not an emergency meeting. It was a special meeting, and that's what we're approving the minutes on. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right. There's a motion on the floor. Motion by Alderman Turner, second by Alderman Kirkwood, to approve the special meeting minutes from Thursday, December 26, 2019. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Florian. Aye. Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seeger.
Aye.
Alderman Mosio.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Okay. Motion by Alderman Newsome, second by Alderman Rivera, to approve vendor payments dated January 6, 2020, in a total amount of $2,392,244.33. There was a holdup from Alderman Turner. Alderman Turner.
Yeah, there are a number of expenditures, vendor payments that I question, and I don't want to go into detail with them here. There are numerous. So I just want to have an opportunity to vote on this as an individual line item, and then, Mayor, I would relish the opportunity to speak with you offline.
Absolutely, sir.
Thank you.
All right. There's a first and second on the floor. Roll call, please.
Alderman Florian. Aye. Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seeger.
Aye.
Alderman Mosio.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
No.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Motion's passed and carried. Items 5, 6, 7, 8, there being none. Items 9, closing items. Alderman's time. Madam Clerk.
Alderman Florian.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. First of all, I would like to offer my sincerest sympathies to the Cotton family over this recent tragedy in our community. I believe this was a tragedy not only for the family, but our entire community, and my sincerest sympathies go out to them. The second thing I would like to address is the recent article that was in the newspaper claiming I was at war with the mayor. I was disappointed that the author of the article did not reach out to me for my input. I'm not at war with the mayor or anyone, and you will be surprised to learn I did attend the New Year's Eve party that the mayor hosted. I think it's important to note that the tax hike that was mentioned in this article will also pay for other things other than what was listed in the article, mainly our pension obligations, one of our biggest liabilities in the city. The article did not note, I'm sorry, he noted that he didn't expect the mayor to raise the levy next year for political purposes, but ignored the fact that the aldermen unanimously rejected a tax hike last year during their election. And there were 3 of us that voted no on the tax hike, but he only singled out Alderman Taylor and myself. You know, why did he ignore the third vote? I also believe the author missed the point of Ms. Carrasco's lawsuit. I believe she's arguing that the vote on the levy was invalid. Our ordinance requires 5 yes votes, and there were only 4 that day. And as for an abstention vote counting as a yes, I believe that came as news to all 9 aldermen. I know it was news to me and Alderman Turner, because I spoke to him about it. But this is not something I was ever told about previously. And I'm now told that in order to have my vote not count, I must recuse myself and step out, as someone noted earlier. But that was all new information, which is... Anyway, I told Mr. Sully that I was annoyed. He described my reaction to the mayor's name-calling as a war. I am not at war. I was elected to bring accountability and transparency to the city government, and I'm working hard to do that. Sometimes that means I won't agree with the mayor. If all 9 of us always agree with him, what do we need aldermen for? We could just have a mayor. We could have an autocracy and be done with it. So there's going to be times when some of us disagree. And we just have to learn to work around that. So that was my response to him. The author of the article just said he was sorry that I was annoyed and disappointed. That was his response.
Read what you just said again. If all of us agree with the mayor, there would be the mayor. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you.
And the last thing I want to talk about is our fire stations are back to being jump stations again for the 8th and 9th Ward. I never really felt that overtime was the answer to our understaffing issue, and now here we are at the beginning of the year, the overtime money is running out, and so the staffing is being cut back. I'm just hoping that moving forward, we can all work together to provide safety for our entire city and all 5 stations throughout the city. Thank you.
Alderman Taylor.
First off, I'd like to start off by offering my condolences once again to the Cotton family. I was not really prepared to see the tapes in such a public venue. It was disturbing to me that there was no disclaimer that children under the age of 21 should not really be watching these videos. They were just put on the website. I understand it's for transparency. Right or wrong or whatever happened in between, there was a young man in our community that is now gone. As a mother of 2 children in similar age, it was extremely disturbing to me to watch this young man pass away. I never really thought I'd have to see that, and I apologize to the family that it's very difficult to watch. And once again, I offer my sincerest condolences. As we move forward, I would love for us to have more of a community outreach with each other, and I know the mayor wants that too, and I really would like us to have that conversation, so please. As far as, I will say, the war, that I thought it was actually kind of funny. Isn't it our job to make your hair gray, Mayor? That, I mean, we're a board. We're never going to agree. There's no hostility here, I don't believe, on anybody's part. Unfortunately, a lot of our discussions have to take place in a public venue. And so we're not always going to agree. He is the CEO, we're the board of directors. It is our job to be the oversight. And I think most citizens understand that, but if you don't, that is our job. Last, I want to talk about, because I talked about this back in June, and I still believe in it, that we've talked about the casino in our town, and I still believe that we need to have an economic study done. We've looked at having this casino come, and I know Alderman Mosio brought up that, you know, maybe we should have negotiated better. Maybe we need to know exactly what this casino is going to bring to all of us and the pluses and minuses of it. And now is our time, before that final approval comes, that we look at that and see that the city is really going to be on the right side of it. So I still would like, as an alderman, to say we need to do an economic study. But that's something that we as aldermen need to decide as a group. But I think if we're really seriously, this needs to make money for us. We hear about all this stuff that makes money. Let's talk about marijuana. The state made a ton of money. The municipalities don't. So let's make sure with this casino that things are in our favor, because this is our one and only shot. If we are gonna have a casino here, let's make it worth our time. It's our tax money that, you know, let's work at getting this. So I still wanna make sure that we consider doing a good economic study. That's it, thank you.
Alderman Bolton.
Yes, I want to openly acknowledge and say once again, sending my condolences to the family, especially because this event happened in my ward. And I want you all to know that I am moved greatly about this. And I'm working better at representing the first ward to do a lot better, so to make sure that this doesn't happen again. God bless you.
Alderman Seeger.
I'd like to comment on this issue too. I didn't know Mr. Cotton, but like one resident said, he's a human being. We are not to judge each other. He's gone. I don't know what took place. I was laying up in the hospital myself. All because of my own fault. But God bless him, and I do apologize taking so long to send my condolences to the family. And I mean that. Thank you very much. Good night.
Alderman Mosio.
I too will offer my condolences. Sometimes on issues like this, obviously when a person dies, it's a tragedy when it causes much emotion in the community. We need to heal. One way we can heal is we have to do a better job of maybe communicating, and that seems to happen a lot. Sometimes our communication is not what it needs to be. So we need to work on that. And one point, again, I'll dovetail that into communication. The Waukegan Police Department is under our charge, but there are rules and laws and procedures, and they have rights. There's a lot of dots to connect. But the gentleman, the Lake County Jail, sir, we have nothing to do with that. You know, yeah, but we have no. Not on the Lake County Jail, sir. We would have nothing to do with,
Wait a minute.
we have nothing to do with the Lake County Sheriff's Office, zero. So that's a point of clarification. So if we wanted to even help you with something like that, we could. Now, if that would happen in the Waukegan jail, then that would be under our responsibility, but it didn't. It happened in the Lake County Jail, which is a whole nother board you'd have to go see. That being said, I offer my condolences. Another thing, I got a lot going on in my mind here, but I'll try to get to all of them. Mr. Pitts jogged my memory. He's talking about homelessness. We've had an issue with pads. And I went to a CDBG meeting a while back, and we talked about it. And we used to get CDBG money, and we'd use it for various things. And one things we would use it for would be sidewalk squares, which I always thought was it was just to spend the money because the federal government gives you money and you got to spend it, and that. But the county receives a lot bigger share of CDBG money. I asked at that meeting, I said, what we need to do, because the homelessness and the pads problem is not a Waukegan problem. They come to pads because of the location. And pads got that building for free, so that's why they're there. It's supposed to be a resource center. I think we all know that a lot of these people need more help than that. I've always been a proponent. We had a big, when Mayor Motley was in, we had a whole big argument about whether or not we were going to let these people take a shower. My God, do we have no decency to let somebody that doesn't have a house take a shower? And we're getting in a fight about it. So my thought is to go to the county and take our money and take the county's money and find a place that's more suitable, not in a neighborhood, on a bus route, and maybe either buy or rent or figure out a way to finance a better, and pads can keep that as an administrative place, but have another resource center for these people to get a shower, to do this, to do that, or if they want to move the whole thing over there, whatever they want to do. But I think we all know, because we've had all this contention with it, that it doesn't work. It's in a bad area. It's not working. So that just jogged my memory as to do that. All right. Taxes. I don't know if anybody heard, but Lake Forest and Lake Bluff raised their property tax too. Why? Pension costs. Pension costs. Now, obviously, they don't have as large a police and fire department as we do, but they had to raise it for pension costs. So it's just not unique to us as far as municipalities covering pension costs. The legislation that passed for the pension reform will help, but it's not here yet.
3 years.
How long, Mayor? 3 years?
It's good. The catch-up is about 3 years before we can really start seeing what those effects.
And that will help out the whole state, but it's not going to help us now. So I think sometimes people think we're the only ones that do what we do. It's all over the state of Illinois. And here's another thing. People seem to come out only when it's time to vote on the tax levy. Our budget is online. You can look at our budget and see what the money is spent on. If you don't like what the money is being spent on, or you don't understand it, you can call your alderman and we can get the questions answered for you. Say, why are we spending this much money on this? Why are we spending this much money on that? What's this for? What's that for? Remember, it's a two-way street. Up here does no good. Like I said, not that this wasn't important, but when you come up here and talk, it's a monologue. You talk, and then we get to talk. On the budget, look at the budget, call, say, hey, why is this? Some of us may have the answer for you right away. We may have to make a phone call or an email and say, hey, why are we spending, what is this? So to me, I charge the citizens, if you don't like what we're spending the money on, look at the budget and then bring that concern to us so that we can address it. Instead of just coming when it's time to levy the taxes, because by that time, as they say, the horse is out of the barn most of the time. Thank you.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. First of all, as many of the aldermen have already said, I want to give my condolences to the Cotton family. No one wants to lose a loved one and have to go through a process to get some recognition for what occurred. But also we must remember that as you come here each first and third Monday of the month and give your concerns to the council, we're here to listen, not to judge. Also, it's important that we come out and hear what is really going on within the city. There's a lot of things going on. You shouldn't be afraid to speak out regardless of what is going on within the city and your ward. And you should know who your representative is where you live. That should be important. Also, I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. Hopefully, 2020 will give us a clear vision of what the city is trying to be about and how you can participate in what the mayor and the council is trying to do to bring about a destination spot here in Waukegan. Also in the 4th Ward on February 8th, we'll be having an indoor garage sale at Waukegan East High School from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. More information will be forthcoming. It'll be in the student cafeteria at Waukegan East High School on the corner of Washington Street and Jackson. Once again, I will continue to ask you to come out, speak your concerns, but let's do that in a civil way and be respectful of one another. Thank you.
Alderman Newsom.
Thank you. I would like to offer my sincere condolences to the Cotton family. I did not know Mr. Cotton, but I do have adult sons, and I have young grandsons, and I wouldn't want anything like that to happen to them. So you have my sincere condolences, but I would also like to speak to whoever the family member is after the council meeting. I don't think his parents or grandparents, are they here?
No, but I'm his big cousin.
Okay, if I could get that information about his parents. And then also I have a constituent here tonight. There has been some issues of people in my ward going through the neighborhoods and trying people's doors, car doors, crimes of opportunity. So I would encourage anyone that has their car not parked in a garage on the street to always make sure your doors are locked and that there's nothing visible that a person can see that they may want to take that opportunity to take. So I thank my constituent, Mr. Lang, for coming in, and I thank Chief Wallace for speaking with him. And also, if you're able to get these video cameras, they're very useful, because that way we can track down whoever it is that's coming through the neighborhoods, and then we can catch them. So I appreciate, Mr. Lang, you giving me the call so we could, and contacting the police department so that we can get on top of that and stop them not only from in our neighborhood, in other neighborhoods and throughout the city. That's all I have.
Alderman Turner.
Thank you. In the 6th Ward, again, I just wanted to raise awareness about neighborhood cleanliness and putting your garbage cans out at the appropriate time and taking them back. We're still getting a lot of folks who put their garbage cans out 2, 3, 4 days ahead of time, and they're overflowing and trash is blowing out in the street. I spent a lot of time riding around the ward, and I'm picking up trash and taking it to a gas station or taking it home to throw it away. I want to touch on something Alderman Newsom said, referred to, and that was these car burglaries where people were checking door handles. So in next meeting, I'll give a kind of a more detailed report on some of the numbers generated, calls for service by the police department, as well as some other stats for the 6th Ward. But because you mentioned that, Alderman Newsom, I just want to raise the awareness. In the 6th Ward, we have had a significant increase in the number of vehicle burglaries and residential burglaries. For the last 3 years in residential burglaries, we had 16. This would be in 2017. We had 16, 2018, 19, In 2019, 22 burglaries, right? That was residential. And the total was 57 total. And then for vehicle burglaries, we had 18, 12, 3, and total of 33. So I see it all the time. I hear it. I get a lot of calls from people. My truck was hit in my yard behind a wrought gate, right? So we have to be cognizant. People are acting on crimes of opportunity, and we see them just walking down the street, tapping door handles. We actually had a gentleman whose car was stolen, and you saw him on camera, saw the thief on camera walking down the street, tapping door handles, and he got to a car, engine was running, key inside, door unlocked, and he was gone just like that. So please be aware and be cognizant and be careful, right? Thank you.
Alderman Rivera.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I would like to offer my sincere condolences to the Cotton family, as my other the members of the council have done. But I would also like to highlight Alderman Seeger's indication that it has been a long time coming, and for that I do apologize. I would also like to thank Brother Blanks for being an advocate for the family and for keeping this front and center. Thank you very much, sir.
Mayor?
Is it? Oh, I'm sorry, Felix. I thought you was on the roll. I want to commend I'm not going to call them protesters. That's not what you want protesting. You were just speaking what you thought, what you believe. Well,
I would call it activists.
well, if that's where you want, I believe that for the first time, and I'm gonna say the first time, Brother Blanks, you have been on this journey 20-some years, my friend, or more. You've assembled some young men and some young ladies who've come up here to speak their minds. And they did it in an orderly, respectful fashion. Yeah, clap, clap. That's right.
I would like to really give that credit to Avion Cotton.
Avion, well, yes, sir. Yeah, all right, and that the cause is because of Avion. Unfortunately, I wish it can be a different cause, that you can come and speak your minds. And I'm going to go to young men and young ladies, particularly those of African American descent. Sometimes your voice is only heard when there's a tragedy. I need your voices to be heard when there is not a tragedy. I need your voice to come up here and get to that mic, show your passion, show your emotions, be respectful, because that's who you are. That's what you were reared to be. So this is a proud moment for me to witness this at your leadership, sir, in the cause of Mr. Cotton. And as I said earlier, as we move through Waukegan, we'll band together. And I trust and I pray that we don't come at this meeting, at this time, for the death of a young man or a young lady, regardless of their ethnicity. But we come because unemployment is low. Clean air is not where it's supposed to be. There is not enough jobs. We want more jobs to come because of your taxes. That's the voice that we need to hear. Whatever the situation may be. I've given you respect. I'm asking. Thank you. These are the times that we all can do some soul searching and come out what's in the best interest of this community, because that's what you are here for. on behalf not only of the alderman, but the Cunningham family, me personally, knowing Avion since he was with Chantel, Mrs. Cotton, Grandma Cotton that is, Ruthie, Reese, their uncle. I know it hurts. I can see you. This is a hurting time for you. I still, and I think all of us up here still appreciates the fact that you were able to speak your mind. We have the power to change it. And that we will. But I'm with Alderman Mozio. I need you at the next council meeting. I need you at every first and third council meeting that exists to back up Brother Blanks or an alderman on the issue. Don't let this stop you. If Avion started this, then you have to finish it. And there are going to be different issues that we all either going to agree or disagree, or we might even come together as one. But thank you for that. With that being said, I want to wish all of you who are here and those who are listening a happy 2020 and prosperous new year for the city of Waukegan. Motion by Alderman Rivera, second by Alderman Seeger to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. Motion passed and carried. Thank you.
All right.